Hello everyone, it's Wednesday the 15th of September and it's challenge day, and this week we have the Heavies as our challenge set, and to help us with that we have charged non-heroes, so regular survivors all start charged, doesn't matter what class, which can be useful sometimes if you've got a couple of good ones, but what I want to start off with this video by saying is this map set is incredibly suited for Spy, so Sasha, Princess Yumiko, and that's a given when I go through them. What I'll try and do is give some alternative suggestions of teams that might be quite useful or fun to use on them. I don't particularly like this challenge set, and it has my probably least favourite map of all time, which is Getting Burnt, and I'll get to that one soon, but to start with, let's talk about barbecue or BBQ. 6 or 7 tanks on the board, nothing else, no incoming, and you've just got to kill them all. So a really useful weapon on this one is the Daryl's Assault weapon, which you can see on Donna there, which can root multiple tanks. And if you've got someone with fire to set them on fire, all the better. And then you can hopefully work slowly with the tactical on it to charge up, move back, root. If you got Shane in there, if you can get one of them down to a smaller amount of health and get them all bunched up, you can kill them all in one go, which is what I was trying to do here. Beware the walker at the top left, which is hidden from view normally on the start of the mission. If you're using ranged weapons, you will probably alert it. What you hope for is to make it from unaware to wandering, and then it wanders off up the top. If it wanders towards you, it's really difficult to survive. If you want to go melee on this, particularly at lower levels, then Huntsman Daryl is a good one. And if you can get one tank's attention at a time, using a combination of Huntsman Daryl, Survivor's Rick, and someone else, be that Beta or another scout, you can prowl past it lots and chip away its health, but it is very tricky and you do have to get them coming up one at a time. Another option this week, and I'm going to give it a go, is having Mercer in there somewhere to hopefully take big chunks of health off the tanks, as well as setting them on fire. So look out for that one. Even if I fail lots, I'll still share the video of it not working, because he is only epic at the moment. Next map we got is Double Trouble, which is probably going to be the hardest map of the set. It's particularly towards the end when you're in Nightmare, with short incomings and spikes and stuff. It's going to be tricky even with Spy. You got 2 tanks, one on the left and one on the right, and you need to kill them both. So again, setting them on fire early, keeping them rooted away from you. There is an incoming on this one, so you've got to be mindful of that. A team I like to use on lower levels is sort of a Sasha, Huntsman Daryl or Beta, and a shooter with fire. If you can keep the threat down by prowling the normal walkers with Daryl whilst you shoot the tanks to get them on fire, and then use Sasha's if you've got the Winter Harpoon to keep silent, keep them rooted and away from you. Alternatively, you can go full melee with Beta in lead or Daryl in lead with Beta and another scout, prowling, stunning, keeping them keeping the threat down, and prowling the tanks. Start on the left and then work your way over to the right afterwards. You can treat it a bit like a kill-all if you can keep that threat down. I'll show that technique as well. And again, because there's tanks that you need to kill, maybe Mercer needing a scout and a shooter with fire. If you've got a shooter, a good non-hero shooter, it might be worth bringing them along to take a big chunk of damage off those tanks to start with. I'll be trying that as well. And next one is Armoured Compound, and yeah, you're going to want an assault, a charged assault to start with, which will be really helpful. They don't always start quite as nice as this, but they do start quite close together usually. Fire, possibly Shane, bunch them up and kill them, and someone to keep that tank occupied, so probably Sasha with a harpoon. Alternatively, you can go 2 assaults, maybe Princess lead. It's a tough one to do with melee, to be honest. They're all heavies, they all start really close on top of you. If you got a good bruiser you could possibly use a bruiser and 2 scouts, or 2 scouts and a bruiser, I should say, or beta, bruiser, scout. It's not a nice one for that. Ranged is probably going to be your best bet this week. So I'll use a few different teams and see how it goes. Now we get to getting burnt, which I hate. Early levels, it's not too bad. Take Daryl and Beta and keep the threat down. Stay at the start, kill anything that's near you. After 10 turns, all the normal walkers all the walkers that start on fire will be dead, and if you kept the threat down, there won't be much left on the board. Go and open the 3 boxes, one down the bottom left and the 2 at the top. And one thing to bear in mind if you've not played this map set before is once you've opened all 3 boxes, you can open this gate from the inside and then run to the exit. You don't have to go all the way back round like I used to back when I first played it. It does make it a lot easier to finish. At higher levels, when you're not able to keep the threat down as easily, beta, bruiser and shooter, possibly if you've got it with a hunting bow to keep the threat down. You still want to stay at the start, but chances are you'll get an incoming every so often. Wait until all the fire ones are dead, and then you just got to work your way through. It takes a bit longer. And then when that doesn't work and you feel you have to go to range and spy, the incoming all comes in at the bottom and a couple in at the top. You can spawn block them from either end, so you're only dealing with one side, but it takes forever and it's not particularly fun. I just really dislike this map. Roadrunner, however, is a lovely kill-all. There's not much on the board. Sometimes something will start right on top of you, but not often, and just kill everything. It's perfect for prowling and herding. There's plenty of space, so you can treat it very similarly to Graveyard Shift from last week. So have beta and a scout and a shooter with fire, set things on fire and just prowl. There is a tank which you'll have to be aware of, but with the amount of space you've got, chances are you'll be able to run past it and get out the way of it, even if it gets close to you. There is also a hard corner up in this top left by this barrier, which you can use to get the walkers to walk away from you. I'll try and show you that, but it's really not that useful, because the map's just quite easy as it is. But I'll show a few different teams because it's quite a fun one just to mess about on. And then we got Swap, which is one of the few maps we get where the starting spawn is always the same. It always looks like this. And there are a few different teams you can use. The idea is you've got to open the red SWAT van at the right, which spawns 4 armoured kill those armoured, and then get to the line. The incoming always comes in at the same place as well, which is 3 squares at the bottom next to the 45, which is circled here, and 3 at the top right next to the SWAT van. I like to go with threat reduction and scouts and beta, or a beta bruiser scout to start with. Then later on you can go to your range teams with an assault, get to the far right corner as quickly as possible and build a stun wall. Bearing in mind you don't actually have to kill any of the riots at start. You can spawn block the riots that come out of the van, but make sure you let at least one come out, otherwise you won't be able to finish the map. And if you can get it to just one come out, focus on that walker, kill it, and the exit line will light up. So there's a few different ways of doing it, and I'll use a few different teams for you. So that's this week's challenge set. If you get stuck on any, switch to spy, you should be okay. The hardest ones to spy are going to be Double Trouble, just because they're coming from all directions. Possibly Princess Assault Yumiko might work better on that one. And getting burnt is a bit of a pain, again, because they come from sort of 2 directions. So Princess Assault Yumiko again, if you're stuck. But I'll try and show a few different teams for each one. Hope you found this useful, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.